down to that word we talked about earlier, integrity, truth. We must be honest with each other. We must be truthful. We must have integrity. That is fundamental for an organization to work. If this tenet is violated, the organization can crumble from within. Quoting the President, Dwight Eisenhower, "This world of ours must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate, and be instead a proud confederation of mutual trust and respect." You think Ike had the same problems then we're having now? It's hard to say, isn't it? But here again, this is an example of the vision. Leadership qualities, this is his vision, and he's setting about to communicate that vision and help people get in step. Here's another one that's a little bit more recent. President Trump. Imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people, under one God, saluting one flag. Digital economy. Digital economy is here. One of my consulting jobs up in Silicon Valley was to work with startups. I worked with 6 different startups. 2 of them were cybersecurity companies. This was back about 15, 16 years ago. The cybersecurity companies had amazing solutions to secure your security and privacy. We went to Sandlot Circle, which is where all the venture capitalists are. We made presentations looking for funding and venture capital, and we had the door slammed in our face in both companies. Do you know why? Because if Microsoft decided they wanted to do that, they'd squash you like a bug. We're not putting any money in this venture. One of the other companies I had was a successful small business that went by the name IBC. Stood for Internet Book Club. We actually sold books on the internet. We had contracts with publishers and clearinghouses, and we sold books. That business was put out of business by another business. Guess who? Amazon. We could only negotiate 25% discounts for our profit margins. They could take 40% discounts. Eliminated us almost in a heartbeat. Technology is wonderful, but it's also dangerous. It's going to change the world we live in. What happens when some of these things start becoming true? Artificial intelligence is in the news a lot lately. China is going big time on building artificial intelligence. It's rumored that they're ahead of us. When I lived in Silicon Valley, this was back about 1995. I was on a Stanford University board that was beginning to develop artificial technology, artificial intelligence, and neural networks technology. So it goes back that far, 25 years. So I need to check how I'm doing on time also. How are we doing on time, Owen?
Okay.
Keep going. Autonomous vehicles is indicated that will probably eliminate 3 million drivers' jobs. Remember when the ATMs went into the banks? Everyone thought it would eliminate all of the banking jobs. What did it do? It increased the jobs. The banks hired more people after having the ATMs. So technology doesn't necessarily eliminate people, but it changes the description of the job they're doing. So we have to be able to change and adapt. Bitcoin is threatening to change our entire financial basis for worldwide economy. The cloud. I'll show you another picture of that in a minute. CRISPR, I don't know if you've heard of CRISPR, it's about gene splicing. They're now finding that there are certain illnesses that they can actually go into your DNA, find an error in the DNA sequencing, and correct it at a microscopic level. That's what CRISPR is all about. It will solve many, many diseases, particularly immunotype diseases. digital economy. We're already seeing things that no cashiers in some of the stores. I bought some groceries at Walmart yesterday. It's all serve yourself cashiers and out the door. Drones. Well, we're using them on the border. We're using them around airports. We're using them. AeroVironment has made a very successful inroads on drones. Drones are coming, and they're going to be more and more common. Internet of Things. This is an exponential rise. Everything you own, everything that's electronic, electric, or smart will be connected to the internet. You'll be able with your cell phone to do things that, like turn on your oven, close your garage door, get a picture of your puppy dog in the back room.
Aww.
Robotics. We have Roomba, we have now robotics that are able to simulate human motion. Some robotics with thinking or using chess master and things like that. Virtual reality. Have any of you used a virtual reality? Have you ever set one of those? What was it like, Joe?
It's come a long way. When you put the mask on, it actually does feel like you're inside of whatever environment you've chosen to be in. Look up and around and down, and you have a cue all around you. It's amazing in the senses.
It really is. If you haven't tried it, go have a demonstration. It's really amazing. So technology is going to change the world we live in. If you're going to be a manager, if you're going to be a leader, you need to realize that this is changing. Evolution of memory storage. Started with punch cards. Does anybody here remember punch cards?
Yes.
Hey, a few of us. Then we went to 3.5-inch floppy disks, then we went to CDs and DVDs, then we went to flash drives like we used tonight. Oh, all of that technology is looking up at the cloud. Cloud is ruling. All the major companies, Microsoft, Amazon, all of these big tech companies are going to the cloud. Splunk, so forth. The weather. I remember when I was a kid, everybody complained about the weather, nobody could do anything about it. You can listen to the weatherman and you can always be sure he'd be wrong. Now, we are able to map weather fairly accurately. I can look on my cell phone and see every few hours when the rain's coming, when it's going to be sunny, what the temperature is, and I can look ahead for several days or a week or two. The next step is going to be altering the weather. Right now, we have spent an excessive amount of technology using the GOES satellites. NASA and NOAA have put up satellites that map the weather patterns. We have supercomputers that analyze the hurricanes, the cyclones, the floodwater, and these things. You can see this hurricane that's off the Florida coastline. In the future, we may be able to do something to change that. But there's innovation happening all the time. Have you heard that we've outlawed straws? Did you have iced tea tonight? Did anybody have a straw here?
No.
One straw. You know what? We've outlawed plastic straws, so this is an innovative idea what to do about it. They're going to make straws, an undercover straw, out of hypodermic needles, which are being freely distributed in San Francisco. So they're okay to use, but you can't use the straws. Have you heard this before? Introducing the undercover straw, conveniently disguised as a hypodermic needle, leaving you free to sip in peace, easy disposal, just drop it on the ground. Anything that's great that's created goes through this type of a cycle. It's a little hard to read, but basically you start out with an idea. This is the best possible idea, and then it gets harder and harder. At some point, your idea starts getting difficult. You have persistence of problems and challenges. It's not quite as easy as you thought. Then there's a breakthrough, and you begin to climb, and pretty soon you get the blue ribbon. This is a typical cycle for a new product invention, but it's an emotional journey, isn't it? Any of you worked on new product development? Scott has, Alan has, Mary Jane has. What product did you work on, Mary Jane?
I work for a craft company and toy company, so they
Craft and toy, new toys. Did you go through something similar to this with toys? Or?
pretty often.
Yeah. So realizing that this is the pattern, we can use that as an advantage being perfect manager of technologies. This is a fairly interesting painting. It looks rather rudimentary, doesn't it? Looks like maybe a kindergarten kid or
Van Gogh.
a junior school student could have painted it. But read the footnote. This is a painting called Field that sold for $81 million. Do you think Vincent van Gogh realized when he was making those brush strokes that it would someday sell for $80 million? How did he feel when he saw the painting being sold? Of course, he's probably not around anymore.
That's why it's worth so much.
There's another one, I didn't have the picture of it, but it's called the swimming pool. Sold for, was it 90 million, I think? So artwork starts with something simple. Simple as a brush stroke, the mixing of a paint. It's like that creative cycle where the artist goes through this dip and up. And for a lot of artists, the dip is while they're living. And the rise doesn't come until after their demise. And that's how the artwork world works. If you got $10 million in cash today, what would you do with it? Kira, what would you do with it?
I'd probably invest it.
You'd invest it in what?
That would be a good question. I'd get an advisor to advise me.
Okay, good. Tim, what would you do with $10 million?
Probably invest it too.
Okay, we got a lot of investors here. Anybody is a broker that would like some new investors? This is about leadership and management. What if you have something that comes in unexpectedly? Are you equipped to handle it? So many of the lottery winners go broke very soon after because they haven't done the mental work, the social and the emotional work to handle it. When you're working through that big curve, with each step, each progressive part of it, you're gaining skills, you're gaining activity, you're gaining knowledge, intelligence, experience, and that's what equips you to handle that higher level. Communication leads to the discovery of human abilities. Broadens the person's concept of how to live with people, brings out the leadership traits and abilities, and helps people to be a leader. Communication is one of the key tools in whatever management or leadership job you have. One of the tools for communication is advertising. Look what the digital economy has done to advertising. Blue curve is newsprint. Newspaper advertising peaked about time of the dot-bomb around 2000, 2001, which was just about the time that Google began going, Google, Facebook. Now the newspapers are beginning to get digital adjuncts, but it hasn't made much of a difference. So the newsprint advertising is way down. Google, Facebook, and now even Amazon make most of their money or a significant part of their money because of advertising. That's how they give us free services, free access. It's why they want all your personal data so they can use it for marketing and advertising. Have you ever noticed when you buy something online that the next week you get ads about something similar? How did they figure that out?
I don't think you have to wait a week. Yeah, I think that immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's immediately you go from one side.
Here's a rocket man for you. This is a different branch of technology that's affecting us. The technology of the nuclear world, technology of the defense industry and the defense threats. We're looking at, of course, the rocket man on the right, Elton John, Sir Elton John, and of course, North Korea and our negotiator and Secretary of State. This symbolizes the fact that the technology we're talking that's going to affect our management and leadership goes well beyond our own organizations. It goes to selecting appropriate leaders with proper support, proper knowledge, intelligence, and so forth. So how do you use this? Impactful results. I want you each to be able to think about what you heard here that resonates for you as something you do well. What areas you look for that you might improve a little bit. We're going to talk about that some more. Success. State of mind that allows you to obtain anything you desire. How many of you know who Mark Victor Hansen is? A couple of you. He formed a series of webinars and seminars a few years back where it was success-oriented. He had authors and entrepreneurs of all types that were putting together teams of people. A lot of billionaires came out of that process. Believe in yourself.
I love
Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who else will? Believe in yourself. Have self-confidence. If you have challenges, if you have difficulties, still believe in yourself. You know great things are coming when everything's going wrong. Have you ever noticed when you really get some momentum, you really get going, all of a sudden everything's going wrong? You had a flat tire. This New Year's I had about a half a dozen things that totally went wrong. Plumbing in my house went out. The Roto-Rooter guy came to clear it out. He broke off that steel snake in the bottom of my house, still in the plumbing in my slab. And we don't know how we're going to get it out. My wife's navigator on her GPS went out. Toyota says they have to replace the whole thing. It's going to be $3,000. We have a lot of things that are happening right now that are keeping us busy. So when you have old energy clearing out, things that are getting in your way, if you're getting obstacles, just realize, aha, the universe is signaling me that these are challenges to see how committed I am to my path. I keep moving through those things. I keep looking at how to conquer them, how to succeed with them. I have another series of works that I've done. There's 16 different ways to look at a flat tire. When you have a flat tire, what's your response? Is it, oh no, my day is ruined, my life is over? That would be one extreme. Or is it, wow, this is interesting. I've never changed a flat tire. I'm going to learn all kind of stuff. This is going to be so much fun.
Or down your
Those are the extremes.
Yeah, that's why you don't play.
There are a few things in between. But when you start having challenges, things start breaking down, things start bothering you, hey, that's part of the game. The universe is telling you this will strengthen you. So work through them. Be patient. Expect the best. Prepare for the worst. Capitalize on what you get. It'll be somewhere in between. Time's not like a river. Where you are now, you'll never be there again. It flows past. Enjoy every moment of your life. When I was at Raytheon, I went through a phase where it just got to be drudgery. There was so much paperwork and there was so much conflict, and it just was very difficult to want to go to work. And so I sat back one day in my meditation, I was thinking about, what am I to learn from this? What can I do about it? How can I use this? Those were the questions I was asking. What came to me? What do I enjoy most about going to work? It's talking with some of the people. So from now on, I'm going to take a break every hour. I'm going to go talk to somebody. I'm going to walk down the hall. Hey, my name's Wayne. How you doing? I haven't met you before, Ryan. What are you doing these days? What are you working on? Get to know people. That was enjoyment for me. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I get to meet you. You see, if you have things that you enjoy, go there. Use that. Every moment of your life, enjoy. Be busy as bee. Busy as bee. These are the workers no matter what you do. Keep busy. This is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Have you seen this before? Where are you now? We all have the characteristic of moving up and down this scale. Maybe it's self-actualization. What can I do for others? I'm a high flyer. And then we may have an upset. We may have some problem. It may throw us down here to security. Maybe there's a round of layoffs. Bank of America recently had major cutbacks. Some of my friends that are in Toastmasters were affected by that very significantly. So they dropped all the way from self-actualization and importance down to security and survival. And then, as they went on and they found different assignments or different jobs, they got problem solved, they were able to move back up. So the point I'm making here is this is a dynamic model. It is not a place you stick a push pin and stay. It's a place you move up and down. And your goal is to keep rising with the tide. Here's one for Scott. Didn't mean to wait for the side. Your purpose is to bring the gift you are to the planet. Don't allow the fear of standing out in a crowd to hold you back. You are not sent here just to fit in. There's no benefit to being small. There's no benefit to holding back. I believe our Maker put us here to live life and to live life large. Go for it. Have fun. Succeed. Learn. Enjoy. You like that one?
I do.
So did my puppy. This is little Pepper. He is so happy. He's nothing but pure love, unconditional love. No matter how my day has been, he'll jump in my lap, he'll lick my face, he'll be so happy to see me, jump up and down. That's the way we like it, isn't it? Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a little voice at the end of the day. Sometimes we're having a tough time. You know what? I'm courageous. I'll do some more tomorrow. Time to start again. This is a very interesting, this is the first photograph of Lao Tzu. They never thought they had cameras back then. An actual photograph. Somehow they don't believe me anymore. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Words become actions, become habits, they become your character, and they become your destiny. Watch your thoughts. Everything begins with a thought. Thinking about it, that's the beginning of it. Sit in meditation for 20 minutes a day, unless you're too busy. Then you do it for an hour. This is one of the best ways for you to be the perfect manager and leader. Go within, let your subconscious and your soul tell you how you're doing. If you're dealing with an issue, ask the questions. What can I learn from this? How can I use this? Where do I go from here? What's next? And be still and listen. And if you don't have a daily meditation practice, it's a good time to start. How many of you do it, have a daily meditation practice? A few of you. This, in the old days when I was growing up, was known as fishing. The guys in the family, my cousins, my uncles, we'd go fishing. Or we'd go hunting. And the whole idea was we hoped that nothing took the bait. We were just sitting there relaxing, meditating. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. You always get a second chance. It's called tomorrow. This is Tony Robbins teaching. If you want to be happy, these are 9 things to give up. Take a look, see which ones apply to you. Is there anything on the list you're hanging on to that you might be able to give up? Success is an iceberg, and most people, they only see you being successful. They don't see what's below the surface, your persistence, your discipline, disappointment, dedication, all of the things that you do. This is the part of that bell curve I showed you, where you go through a development cycle and you come out at the top with successful ventures. I'm going to skip this one because it's timely, but I love straightforward people. Lack of drama makes it easier. This is a good one, I thought. Be bold. You know, you don't have to simply follow all of the details. Be bold, take a risk, know that you have a chance. So, goals we talked about today. Tomorrow, what I'd like to suggest you do. Consider the thoughts that came up for you during this discussion. Consider how to enhance the strengths. You've identified some things you do well. Embrace them, enlarge them, use them, share them, give them to others, mentor. Second, begin to implement any changes or improvements if there's areas you can do better. You don't beat yourself up. When you feel like you need some punishment, here's what you do. Hold your hand out. Say, okay, that's enough. Then, You want to go and visualize your plan of action to perfect your talents. And as we talked earlier, no one knows a perfect manager or leader. It's an exponential game. We're all getting closer to the goal line. Each day we progress. And beyond tomorrow, what I really would recommend you do, acknowledge what skills you have that are evolving. There are certain things you're doing in your current position that are just beginning to blossom. Maybe it's something about negotiating or running a meeting or interacting with executives in your company. Or maybe it's customer relations. Or maybe it's a technical thing that you're learning how to use a computer program or something unique. What are your attitudes? What are your success factors around that? Take it, put it together, and acknowledge it. That's where it goes. Very good. That's the other big dog. He just loves to watch and see what's going on. At this point, are there any questions or comments? Carol?
So, it's very interesting you talk about leadership. I was on a panel to interview for a manager, and we didn't interview the experiences, we interviewed the leadership skills. I worked in Northrop Grumman, and there's 6 leadership skills that we had to go and question each one of them to see what their experiences with that. And it was interesting because some of their experiences came out as they described their leadership skills.
Yes. It's interesting you mentioned Northrop. One of the companies I was the vice president in was Litton.
No, I'm Litton. Right
And I
over
was
here.
on the team that sold the company to Northrop.
In about 2000 or something.
Yeah. Very good. Any other comments, questions? Thank you very much for your attention and an invitation to speak here tonight. It's been enjoyable for me to meet all of you and see all of you again, some of you. I hope I have stimulated your thought process, given you some food for thought, given you some things to work on. And main thing is remember to have fun with what you're doing. Okay?